to Behind Them Six. This is your boy Ham Solo. I'm with an awesome YouTuber and gamer, Saltiest Gaming. How are you doing today, my man?
What is up, everybody? I'm doing fantastic. Been playing lots of Halo. That's pretty much my life right now. Been getting into that multiplayer. I never really was into the multiplayer for Halo, and I just been addicted to that. And then the campaign dropped. So, I haven't really been into Halo since in a long time, but one of my pride and joys back in the day was that OG fat Xbox that I got at Best Buy. I remember buying that with Halo. Had all the posters everywhere. Had the Duke controller.
Back to the roots.
Oh yeah. So it's good to be here, man.
Oh man, it took me a few consoles to get into the Xbox. I actually had a PS2, and then I also then purchased a GameCube because that was around that same time. And then I turned in both of those to get my first Xbox. And I switched it over because I thought it was just so nuts how you could listen to music at the same time as playing your games. And I was big into Conflict Desert Storm and what was that? Grand Theft Auto, 3 and whatnot, because they actually implemented where you could change to your own radio station, listen to your own jams. The most memorable thing, I'm not sure if you're into sports games at all, but NFL 2K.
I am. Yeah,
NFL 2K, that. Yeah, you remember you could make your own touchdown music and stuff like that. That was legendary back then. But anyways, yeah, man. What gaming and social media platforms are you on? I know you're on Twitter, which I'll have all these links below in the description. I know you're on Twitter and YouTube, but yeah, list off anything else that I may be missing.
Yeah, so have a Facebook. We're going to be integrating that with channel members and some other things. So that's going to be Saltiest Gaming as well. I do have a TikTok. I'm going to try to upload some stuff there. Be Saltiest Gaming as well. I tried the Reddit community. It's hard to get into that. They have weird rules over there. So yeah, right now, TikTok, Facebook, I'm going to try to, integrate those more. I do have an Instagram as well, Saltiest Gaming. I really don't use it too much, but yeah, pretty much the same, Saltiest Gaming on all social media pretty much, except for Twitter. It's Saltiest_Gaming because there's a guy that took my name and he's like an inactive account since 2017, but it is what it is,
That's how it goes sometimes. Can't really do anything about that. But that's dope. What are you currently playing? I mean, I have a feeling you're just gonna say Halo, just like you said.
Oh yeah. No, but like I said, I don't know if people know my history, but my history was pretty much Nintendo. So I started on the Atari with my grandpa, but the first system that I really owned myself was a Nintendo 64. I played the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo, but I bought the 64 myself, saved up for it and stuff like that. So I was with Nintendo, and then I didn't get a GameCube, and then I went Xbox, and I was just Xbox One, 360, all that, and then PlayStation 2019-ish. So yeah, the return to Halo, for myself, the first game was just groundbreaking for a lot of reasons, for what they were doing, Budgie and stuff, the things that you would experience in that game. I like science fiction. I like space stuff. I'm really big into Star Wars, and it just kind of spoke to me, So the Halo series for a while was big, just campaign specifically. I wasn't into the PvP stuff. I just couldn't get into the time to kill for PvP, so I never did that. But the campaigns were important and big, Halo 1, 2, 3, and then I don't know. I played 4, and then and then 5. I don't know. I kind of fell off of how excited I was for it. But I played the what was it? The technical test for Halo. And I'm a big first-person shooter player. That's my main thing for the longest time. But I've been a COD guy, so I know immediately if I'm gonna like a game or not. It's pretty much it's how it feels in the hands, right? And I played that technical test and I loved it, dude. I was like, what is this? I wasn't expecting to like it. And it's weird because you could go back and play Halo 5, right? Guardians, and I tried to do it myself because I was like, maybe I'm just forgetting how it felt to play that game. But nah, I went back and tried to play Halo Guardians. It feels completely different. And it's hard to explain to someone when they watch it, you know? They see it and they're like, well, it's the same Halo, right? You're shooting the same auto rifle, the BR, it all looks the same to me. But that's the big thing. Like when you're playing video games, you can't tell unless you're actually playing, you know? So I played it. I was like, holy crap, I like this. And then I played, you know, they made that announcement that it was releasing early, but playing a lot of that. So I knew that the campaign was going to click with me because of the way the gameplay was. So I just, and the changes they made with the grapple, what is it? It's the grapple hook or whatever. That's awesome. And just, I've been enjoying, and I think the change to the semi-open world was a smart move for Halo, because going through the corridors the whole time, that kind of gets old. So, you know, that's what I've been playing, man.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I've just kind of like so I know this video is recorded for my audience and whatnot. The game just came out today. And I've only got about hour, maybe an hour and a half into it. Got outside pretty much. I'm touching grass in the game, and it's actually really nice. I was surprised. I wasn't sure how I was really gonna like the open world aspect of it, because you know I just got done playing Far Cry 6. I beat that game like a month or a month and a half ago, and that was a fantastic game. But I knew what I was getting because that's Far Cry. But I wasn't sure what I was getting with Halo, so I was like, you know, it sounds good, but I'm so used to the levels and just how everything plays out. I'm still at the fairly at the beginning of the game, but so far I was kind of surprised on how nice it kind of was just to hop in a tank and go from one base to another base with the same tank, instead of, you know, because I mean sometimes you get at the end of those levels and, you know, Halo 3, Halo 4 and whatnot, and you have your car, and then by the time you're done with it, you don't have anything that you had before, but you have the same guns level after level and stuff like that. I thought it was pretty cool how they carry some stuff over.
Yep.
But anyways, my next question is kind of a deep one a little bit. I'd just like to know, why is gaming so important to you?
Gaming is important to me because I don't know, it's a kind of a multifaceted answer here. It's just been an important part of my life because I connected with it. I don't know, it's like one of those things. I think anybody just have passions in their life and they see things and they click with it. A lot of my best memories in life have been connected with gaming, you know. Playing with friends, you know, on the Nintendo 64 with GoldenEye, or having sleepovers playing Madden 64, or any of those things. It's one of those things where you're able to escape some of the ills of life, per se, you know. So you have a rough day, you can come home and, you know, turn the gaming console on and play whatever you want and escape to whatever world you want to, right? I mean, you're playing an RPG, you could go to Skyrim if you wanted to, you could play NBA basketball, you could do things that you can't really do in this life if you have certain limitations. I mean, everybody does for the most part. So being able to experience those different things is cool, man. And it's an interactive medium. It's not like passive with TV shows or movies, because you can escape through those as well, but you're actually interacting in the medium, and that's what makes it unique, because, you know, you feel like you're in there, per se. So
yeah, nothing happens unless you do it.
Yeah. So I think that's, you know, that's a big part of why it's important to me, you know. meeting like-minded individuals around the world, especially because in the beginning it wasn't like that, obviously, with the Super Nintendo and stuff, because there wasn't internet.
Right.
But like the dawn of internet, meeting people online, you could literally meet, my friend Wooly, who he was on here.
Yep.
He's in the UK, and with the power of technology, you're playing and talking to someone that's thousands and thousands of miles away, and you're interacting in a medium like a video game. It just still boggles my mind that we're able to do that,
Yeah, my co-host Loke7 is actually, he lives in Africa, Mozambique. There is no way in hell I would have met him without the gaming community of like Twitter and plus Xbox being able. I mean, it'd be the same thing for PlayStation 2 though as well. You can reach out to anybody, and same with Nintendo. You can reach out to anybody around the world and play with them, and that's just something that's still really fresh, but absolutely dope.
Yeah, I love it. I was big into Destiny, and I met a whole bunch of people that I still talk to, through Destiny, doing raids and stuff like that. My friend Nick, he when I was doing my podcast, he was on the first episode that I ever did, and still big friends with him. So like, and he's from Missouri and stuff, and like I said, around the world.
Living. That's hilarious. That's cool.
Yeah, he works like, I think, in the city. I don't know what specific town he lives in. I'll have to get that name, but he drives about an hour and 15 to work or something like that. I'll have to get his info, but
that sounds about right.
Yep.
That sounds about right. I drive 40 minutes to work, so I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. But this kind of leads into the next question that I'd have for you, which is like, what drew you to actually making content out of gaming? Because I mean, I know, like you said, you were big into the original Xbox, and you played the Super Nintendo and yada yada, but like there had to be something that was like, yo, you need to make some content for some people to see, or I need to use my time better in this aspect. Like what was the the last straw?
Well, when I was going to school, I like sports, and I was thinking about doing sports broadcasting for a while there, and just talking about stuff and podcasting specifically. How did I decide to start making YouTube videos? It was a thing that I wanted to do for a while, but the factor that pushed me over the edge was my wife. Honestly, like, she got me to finally do it, because you keep putting it off and off. I think I wanted to start a channel way back in the day, and then just years passed by, because you find some of these content creators, and I think in the Xbox community, the first content creator that I listened to was Dealer, and that's when his channel was smaller, and you listen to some of these content creators, and you're like, I think I could add some different things in this space, and if you're really passionate about something, and it's like a lifestyle and stuff, it just comes natural, like talking about it. When it comes to podcasting or even making videos, it's just a natural thing, because you're living it. It's not something that you have to look up for the most part. I mean, you do read articles and you're involved in it, and it is your life. Because like, I'm doing that all the time, right? I'm reading articles, I'm on Twitter, I'm on this and that. But you can really tell when people are true passionate about what they're talking about, or if it's kind of like, hey, I'm just doing this because it's just like, I felt like I needed to be, making a channel because I wanted to share my passion about gaming with the world. And I felt like my perspective on it was different, because I don't know, I just it's kind of unfiltered at times, and I think that gets me in trouble. But there's another question you're going to be asking about what I don't like and stuff like that, and I'll address that as well. I just feel like, one way or another, there's extremists on both sides, and you have to kind of like slot into one community or the other. And that's one of the things that I don't like, actually, because I just like gaming, you know. So for example, I do PlayStation content, right? And I'm in the PlayStation community, all this other stuff. So you know, if I'm posting on Twitter, typically people want to, you know, get PlayStation content from me. But if Halo comes out and I'm liking Halo, I want to talk about it. I want to post about it. And then you get people that get annoyed about it. It's weird, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm saying I speak my mind about both companies or Nintendo as well, and I'm not going to just say stuff to say it. I really think those things, you know. And something, like I said, there's a lot of tribalism in the gaming community, I think. And but anyway, long story short, just felt like my personality and my drive and my passion is something that I wanted to share to the world. So that's why I started my channel, you know?
Absolutely. No, I love that answer. And it's true. You know, there's a lot of like to where you can't speak your mind about like how you truly feel about something without feeling like you're getting attacked or feeling like somebody's like throwing you to the corner to you're only this person. You're only good if you do this type of content and whatnot. And I mean, there are some people that push themselves into that corner, but there is sometimes some people that like, oh, you just mistaken one of my sentences to mean one thing, and then you blew it up and then pretty much use my clout against me.
Yeah, because
you know what I'm saying?
Like, YouTube makes it difficult because in a perfect dream world, I'd be able to talk about whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. But with the algorithm and stuff like that, and the way YouTube content works, you have to have an audience and you have to have a topic and you have to have a target audience. So even with gaming, you have to be focused, you know? So I can't just be like one day doing, hey, we're going to talk about Nintendo here, or we're going to talk about Xbox, or because it's like the people that sub to you for PlayStation content, they don't want to hear that other stuff or Xbox or this and that. So that's why you see
niche and a niche.
Yeah, you have to have your niche, and people don't understand that, right? Like on Twitter, I have more free roam. I could do whatever I want, but there's still people that follow you for specific things. But the tribalism situation in the gaming community, specifically on Twitter, and you know, in general, it gets overbearing at times. But it is what it is.
I hear you. Yeah, we'll come back to that one later. But But what was one of the most like memorable moments that you've had like in gaming and whatnot? It could be any time from when you were a kid or like during your content creation, or like what's something that really stuck out?
I'll probably answer two ways. Memorable gaming experiences. I got to go back to those days playing with my homies. I forgot what grade we were in. I have to look at my age, but having sleepovers, eating pizza, having the Nintendo 64 on deck, bringing it out to the front room, having Mario Kart, GoldenEye specifically, you know,
Slappers
007. Yep, and then just everybody wanted to get an odd job, and you know, it just that is like the highlight of gaming. Like every time I see that console, it just makes me happy, man, because those experiences when you're a kid, you know, you're like kind of carefree, and especially in that environment, it's just something that you'll never have really because you're an adult, you have adult things going on. And even if I'm gaming online with the friends, it's just, you can't recreate that scenario of camaraderie and just chilling with it, you know, like at that age and playing those games and stuff. That's the stuff I'll never forget. And that's why, you know, they're coming out with this Nintendo Switch Online, like the paid version for 64 games, and I might do it because I like that console so much. I wish they had like a, you know, one of those mini consoles or something like that. But yeah, that's my favorite memory and moment in gaming, dude.
Well, you know? I mean, I feel like Nintendo needs to do something multiplayer wise, because they are lackluster when it comes to playing with other people that I know of. At least I don't know anybody You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't really know anybody that like gets down on multiplayer as hard on the Switch.
No, it's not like that, man. To be honest, it's just they struggle with online stuff, you know, and they're behind. They don't even have achievements and stuff, you know, and like their communication, you have to get on an app on a phone, you know. So I don't know. They need to get with the times, and there's rumors that they're gonna go with. They need to do something. Put Discord on the Switch or do something to make it more friendly, and they need to have more multiplayer titles. But I think in order to do that, they need to have, because like with that console, with the Switch, if it's not you have to buy an adapter for an Ethernet cord.
Yep.
At least the one I have, and it's just, man, they're behind the times, man.
Yeah,
They need
the
to get with the
OLED is the
program,
only
you know?
one I know that you don't have to, if I'm right.
Yeah, they added that. I was thinking about upgrading to that, but I never really play my Switch anyway, which is weird because I was a big Nintendo guy back in the day, but
Yeah, I
kinda
really
just-
enjoy. Yeah, I hear you. I really enjoy Nintendo, and I really enjoy the games that are on there. But like, I went to, like, I specifically bought my Nintendo Switch to play Super Smash Brothers. 'Cause I love that game. I played Super Smash Brothers original, Melee. The only one I didn't really play is the Wii version. But I loved how you could grind to get characters. I liked that kind of grind.
yeah.
And there's different types of ways to grind to get characters, which is really cool. But I bought it to play that and also to be able to play with my buddy. I ended up getting online with him, and it was one of the worst online experiences that I've ever had, just for the fact that the only thing that we could do is play versus each other in like a stock or timed or whatever kind of match. You couldn't play on the same team that I knew of, and you couldn't like play versus other players. Because I got this, and I had this like grand idea that it could be like you and your homie versus like two other people, because it's just like basic multiplayer PvP kind of stuff. But they don't even have that.
Yeah, it's so weird, man. The Mario Party games, they launched with no online. What other games? There's other games. It's just they're behind the times, man. And I
That's
guess
unbelievable. How you gonna
yeah,
get
it's
Mario
weird, right?
Party?
Mario Party, no
ain't a party.
online, but they added it later. But it's just their structure. They need a dedicated party system where you don't have to use a phone. I would love them to have achievements or trophies or something like that. I think that would get me more involved. I think an option to have a more powerful system, because let's be honest, that system is less than what one teraflop. They're on Nvidia, but at the same time, I mean, a lot of their games are like 720p, and we're in 2021. So like you see these trailers for the new Bayonetta, and I'm like, man, it's hard for me to get really super excited about this when this thing looks like a game out of the 360 days almost, you know, with because the limitations they have. So
Absolutely. And I mean, I'm more of a at-home gamer. I'm not an on-the-go gamer. I know on-the-go gaming is getting big, and it's nice having cloud gaming and everything like that. And it's nice, you know, having the Switch and everything. But when I'm most focused, I'm at home playing a game. I'm not in the middle of a doctor's appointment or something like that, or at the park or whatever. When I'm touching grass, I'm messing around in it. I'm not laying down playing a video game. So, yeah, I want Nintendo to come back to like making, like maybe even making the dock more serious. Like, like take the dock more serious and give me like something that I can spend $300, $400, $500 on just dock by itself. And,
people are saying like have the dock be where you dock it and it adds power to the system, you know, like if you're on the handheld you'll have less power, but if you dock it you get all that extra power. There's easy technology to do that, and it could increase, I don't know, I think that it would expand the horizons to get some of the Nintendo people that are less interested in the brand right now to kind of come back. because it's tough. Like I said, we're in 4K, and we're looking at these games, and even some of the games that people complain about, I'm like, these are like night and day different than what you get on a Nintendo. Like, what? It's just like, go play Breath of the Wild. That game's awesome, but man, the graphics are just,
they're rough.
Anyway, they're rough.
Because then you go and turn on Immortal Phoenix Rising on Xbox or PlayStation, and it's just like jaw drop.
Yep.
Because I mean, you can really compare and contrast with that game by itself. You can play Immortal Phoenix Rising on the Switch, and then turn around and play it on the Xbox or PlayStation, and you look at the Switch version, and you're just like, bruh, like, this rough. It's like it's not as bad as Grand Theft Auto is, but it's not. It's definitely like looking like you said, like 360 or PlayStation 3 kind of graphics at best.
Thanks.
But anyways, moving on. I have this great little game that I play every episode with everybody. I'm sure you looked over it before when you seen the questions. I like to ask everybody the first game. I want you to say the first game that you think of when I say the name of the console. Okay? Now I'm going to ask you a quick question beforehand. What is like the earliest console that you've ever played?
Atari.
So you got kind of a bag full of different types of.
Yeah, I didn't own the Atari, so I have to kind of put that out there. But my grandpa had the black and white version, and I played Pong on that. And then my friend had the colored version, and I played Dr. J versus Larry Bird on that, and some other ones. So the breadth of knowledge that I have, I mean, it goes to Atari. I wouldn't say I was like a big Atari head, but I played it. So I've been around for the whole spiel,
All right, so then the first console I'm going to start out with is going to be the Sega Genesis.
Okay. The first game that I think of on there is Jurassic Park.
Ooh, yes.
It's weird, right? I mean, yeah. I love that game, and I played it with because my cousin had the Sega, and I would go over to his house and we'd play that. So yeah, Jurassic Park was awesome. Obviously Sonic, but my cousin had the Sega, I had the Nintendo system, so that's where I went with that. I know there's some big Sega heads out there with, especially on the Xbox side, because Dreamcast and everything else like that. But yeah, Sonic. Obviously that'd be the obvious answer, right?
Right. That's an easy one, but I like your
Jurassic
answer.
Park, man.
Because I played that Jurassic Park game, and it was tougher than you'd think.
It was pretty tough, dude.
Yes, absolutely. And I liked the whip that he had in that game.
Yes,
I used to whoop the hell out of people with that thing. But anyways, let's go back a little bit to your roots. Original Nintendo NES.
See, I'm thinking about it. Mario Brothers, man. The original NES, playing that, and then small little gamepad. Remember that? The NES pad. How small and rectangular that was.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, Mario Brothers, big into that. On the Nintendo system.
Yeah, I still don't understand what the select button was really for on that console.
Exactly.
But anyways, Super Nintendo.
Super Mario World, baby.
Yes, I mean that's the first game I turned on my Switch.
I love it. I love that game so much, man.
It aged so well.
It's like if I had to put a Mount Rushmore of games, that thing would be on the top. But it's hard to choose between that and then Super Mario 64, because they're so they both did really good things, I mean, Super Mario, it's just that I love Yoshi. Yoshi's one of my favorite characters. He was in there. And it was just, I remember seeing that console because, like I said, the first console that I bought was the 64. and a friend of mine had that Super Nintendo, and I'd come over and play the heck out of that game. And I remember I think if someone asked me when's the moment I fell in love with gaming, it was that game. It was seeing that game at my friend's house. There was nothing I wanted more than that game and that system. Like I said, it was love at first sight, and that's where I think my passion for gaming just really spun off of that, because it was cool as hell. I remember seeing that, and that game specifically, like I said, is on that Mount Rushmore for me, because it's awesome, man.
You could fly with your dinosaur.
Oh yeah, dude.
I mean, if you were to ask me, like, what is like a GOAT for side scroller, I would easily say Super Mario Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, that game was just so good and smooth and fun, and you didn't know, like, when you flew that you could go up higher and higher, and
higher in
land
the clouds, and
yeah, sometimes you'd land and you wouldn't even be on screen, and just like stuff like that. Like, it was just an unbelievable game, and there's a lot of great side scrollers, but to be able to go all the way back to the Super Nintendo and you still be relevant today, that's good material right there. Just like you said, Mount Rushmore, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on next, let's go all the way up to the original PlayStation.
Resident Evil 1. Resident Evil 1, man. I remember playing that with my cousin again, late night, eat pizza, lights are off. That scared the living daylights out of me, man. I swear, like, it was so, like, that was cool. I love that. Resident Evil 1 on the original PlayStation, just GOAT material there, man.
It felt real. It felt real at that time.
The dogs, like, you go back to it now, it's like, wow, these camera angles and these controls, but back then, it was awesome. So yeah, that's mine. Resident Evil 1.
Oh, it's easy to be a snob now.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's
back
true.
then, man,
True.
It was like what it was, and it was incredible.
So good, dude.
And I'm not even big into that kind of stuff, but like, I remember like Resident Evil and like Silent Hill back then.
Silent Hill,
games, oh man, those games were terrifying.
They were, man. Make you stay up and like keep the lights on at night, man.
Oh
when you're
yes,
a kid.
oh yes. Keep the bathroom door, light on, cracked, whatever.
Yep.
But back on subject, Sega Dreamcast.
Never had one, man. I know that there's lots of people that are into that console. Never had it. But I know a lot of people that have fond memories from the Dreamcast, you know? So, what are some good ones that you remember? Did you have one?
Yes, I did.
What was your favorite from there?
Well, there's several that I really liked. Like Crazy Taxi was, that was an easily lovable game. Ready to Rumble was really fun. I actually played that just a couple nights ago on my Dreamcast. The sports games I felt like were fantastic. Sega GT was like a really good game, and I felt like it could have been, if Sega would have stuck around, it could have been a competitor to Gran Turismo for sure, because they had a lot of stuff in that game. Jet Set Radio, it was either Jet Set or Jet Grind, I don't remember, but that was a really good game on there. Yeah, man, there is a lot of really good games for it. House of the Dead 2, Power Stone. I didn't really get that much into Power Stone that much, but that was another game that was on there. I think even Code Veronica was on there.
Code Veronica, yep.
Which is another like GOAT Resident Evil game, or Mount Rushmore of Resident Evil in my eyes, at least.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of my small list of games that I can think of off the top of my head. Oh yeah. Oh, why? I can't believe I almost forgot about this. Shenmue. Shenmue was probably my favorite Dreamcast game.
That's
really
a popular
well.
one.
Yeah. But anyways, since you didn't have that, let's go on ahead. Well, let me ask you this. I haven't asked anybody this. What's the craziest console or like whatnot that you've ever had?
Like the craziest one?
Yeah.
Like the best one, or
not the
what
best
specific
one, but like the most like random. Like for me, and I got Everborn on the episode previously that I had earlier, like a week ago. But I said the Sega Nomad, and he had no idea what I was talking about. He's a Sega head. That was the craziest console that I personally had. My stepdad had a 32X, but I don't call that.
I kept it boring, dude. You know, like I don't have any of the off the wall stuff. Just kind of kept it standard for me. I played Number Munchers back in the day on my dad's PC. That was kind of wild.
I love that you just brought that up. That is such a fantastic game.
Yeah.
That was
Word
a fun
Munchers,
game.
Number Munchers.
Yep, Word Munchers, Number Munchers, and then I remember it being amazing when we got iMacs in school.
Yeah.
And started playing Zoom Beanies. You ever played that?
Yeah.
You got to make the
and
pizza.
Then even before that was like Oregon Trail on
yeah.
PC at school and stuff. That was cool.
Yeah, that goes without even mentioning. Or everybody knows about Oregon Trail.
People caught dysentery. You thought you were gonna make it, and everybody dies.
Oh, I always used to ride my like cows and whatnot over the lakes, just standing on it. Nobody ever got. Yeah, I always tried to. I almost never made it, but I tried.
Yeah.
I just thought it was hilarious.
Oregon Trail, man, the goat game back in the day.
That was the original game where dumbass ideas were fun.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, let's say PlayStation 3.
Well, I didn't have PlayStation 3, but I do know the console very well. The Last of Us, that came out towards the end of the generation. Big, I love that game. God of War 3, awesome game. Dark Souls, the original Dark Souls, man, I could list on and on, man. That generation with multiplat specifically. I mean, I listed some first parties there, but man, the amount of games, good franchises that came out during that time, PlayStation 3, just crazy. BioShock, the Batman games, Infamous games. Just think about all the Dark Souls games, like I said, the Ratchet and Clanks. Just that console is just insane. Just Demon Souls. So yeah, crazy.
You know, I just heard something the other day. I don't remember whose podcast I was watching. No, I think it was Dealer's podcast. Did you know that there were 17 Ratchet and Clanks, including more?
I didn't know. I know that they made a bunch, but I didn't know it was that much. That's crazy.
I didn't know it was that much either. I had no idea, because I remember, like, you know, you hear some toxic stuff in the community sometimes. Some people are like, we're tired of like remakes and the same old game. But like, you realize like some of these games that are still like bangers and popular to this day have insane amount of, you know, different versions or you know, sequels or whatnot. Like God of War has a ton of them by itself.
Oh yeah, dude. There's a lot of them.
But I was thrown back when I heard that there was 17 Ratchet and Clanks.
Yeah, man. The fact, it's just some of these franchises, how they've been able to continue forward through the years is crazy. You know, it's awesome though.
It is really cool, because to remain popular still, it's like Ratchet and Clank is becoming Lil Wayne or something. I don't know what they got going on, but they just keep bumping them out. And the last one was pretty dope. I had a good time playing it, at least. It was just
it was good.
It was just short, and I just didn't like that it had the same character. Like both characters were identical. There was nothing to tell them apart. But like it was one of the most impressive games visually that I've played.
Oh yeah.
So I gotta give it up for that. And Insomniac is just like hitting home run after home run.
Oh yeah, they're awesome.
But I'm gonna do 2 more consoles. So the next one's gonna be the Xbox 360.
Man, so many good ones, right? Like, where do you start and where do you end? I don't know, man. Obviously the Halo games on there, right? Those were awesome. What other games? Just like I said, the PlayStation 3 and with the multiplats and then the Xbox 360, they kind of cross over. Halo 3 was awesome. Call of Duty Black Ops, amazing. I don't know why specifically that stood out, but I love that game. The Borderlands
was my favorite gun in that game.
Galil, amazing. Modern Warfare 3, I looked at my stats on that Xbox interactive thing, and I had a lot of time in Modern Warfare 3. I didn't realize that. Borderlands 2, I was big into that game on the 360.
That was my favorite game on in the whole 360 era.
Yep,
Borderlands 2 was
Borderlands
my game.
2. Yeah, I loved that game, and it was just, it did stuff that you didn't see in games and stuff, and the comedy was awesome, the storytelling was awesome. For some reason, I just didn't attach to this new one. What was it, Borderlands 3 or whatever?
Right, I didn't either.
I don't know. It lost that magic for me. I don't know if it's because other games have done it, you know, the looter shooter aspect, or if it just kind of lost its shine. But I played the hell out of Borderlands 2, and I did not get into 3 as far as that goes. The Gears of War games were awesome. So many good things, man. So many good franchises. I'm not really a racing fan, so I didn't really get into the Forzas that much. I like the Forza Horizon games. I didn't really get into those until Forza Horizon 3, so I didn't really play the other ones there. But yeah, those were kind of the 360 days. So many good other games that I missed, you know?
I want to go back to Borderlands 3 real quick. Yeah, man. I loved Borderlands 2 so much. I don't know what it was, but the cutscenes in Borderlands 3, for me, just weren't good.
Bad. Yeah.
They just
like pulling teeth, right?
Yeah, dude. Like you get so sick of Lilith and that little kid.
Yep.
Like both of those people, it's like, dude, if you remove these 2 people from the story, like it feels like everybody would have survived and everybody would have been happy, and we could have just took care of this all on our own.
Oh, yeah.
These 2 people, Lilith and that little kid, ruined everybody. Got my girl freaking killed from Borderlands 2. Yep. Oh my goodness! Once she died, I almost stopped playing the game.
You're just like, yeah, I'm done. I'm
like,
done.
you killed my Maya, dude. I was so livid because that was my character in Borderlands 2, and I understand like Roland died too, and that was super sad. But I felt like Maya died for some bullshit.
Yeah, it was dumb. I don't know if it was just because there's lots of turnovers with these studios, you know, and the length of time in between the games affects that, and there's lots of pressure to kind of continue that because it was just out of this world successful, right? The Borderlands 2 game. But for whatever reason, they had that pre-sequel that flopped.
Ooh, that was terrible.
And then, you know, they tried to light the magic again. But I think, you know, one of the things that make that game so good is the villain, Handsome Jack, you know?
Handsome Jack was ruthless.
He's one of the best villains in video games. So, like, from that perspective, it's like you're trying to, like, live up to that. And it's just, I don't know. It didn't hit the mark for me, that's for sure.
Yeah, and he had that like relationship with like Moxie and stuff that. Like it just tied so together so well, and like it really made you hate him but love him at the same time.
Yeah, you hate him and you still love him because he's just a great bad guy, man.
Absolutely. But the last one I'm gonna have to choose is gonna be screw it, PS5.
PS5. Man, so many good games. I don't know. I have to go with Returnal, man.
Returnal, okay.
I love that game so much. Like, it just what it does. I'm really into like Dark Souls and stuff like that, and like doing really hard games and like really hard platinums. Ever since I got into the platinum chase, I don't know what it is. It's just I'm up for that challenge. So Returnal, the challenging aspect combined with the addictive gameplay and that loop just got me, dude. I lost my save file after 20 hours, I think, into that game.
Oof.
And normally, especially with that type of game, because you have to start fresh, you know, like your stuff is gone and you're starting over. And I just loved it as that much where I started a new save file and got the platinum in it. So I think that game doesn't get a lot of credit because it does have such a big barrier to entry for a lot of people. With
They've
how
made
hard
it easier, though.
Yeah, they added that, whatever they did, but
The save.
it's just, and it only sold at like 500,000 and stuff. It's just if it's more of a niche title, and Housemarque, they have other great games that don't get shine as well. So yeah, that and then Demon Souls, I love that game. Platinum that as well. It's like once you play on that engine with Bluepoint, what they did to that game and the particle effects and what's going on with the graphics in that game, if you go back and play Dark Souls, you're like, wow, this looks like crap compared to what they're doing on that console. So those two games are awesome, but I list off more and more, but those stand out to me, you know.
I got you. So I'm guessing you're excited for Elden Ring.
Man, it is such a conundrum for 2022. I know it's one of the topics, but I'm such a big Dark Souls fan. I played and beat all the games in the Soulsborne series plus Sekiro.
Okay.
I platinum Bloodborne and platinum Demon Souls, so I played and beat all those. So yeah, I'm one of the biggest fans out there. So Elden Ring, I couldn't be more excited about it. But what's the problem is God of War Ragnarok's coming out in the same year, and that's my favorite game of all time, 2018 God of War. So it's like I really deep down inside, it's just juggernauts going. Like 2022 is just insane.
It's gonna be a slugfest.
Yeah, so I can't, Elden Ring is going to be fantastic, dude. It's all the stuff that they wanted to do in their games for the longest time. It's like they combined all the best parts of every game they ever made, and we're going to just throw it into this soup and even make it even better. So I think that game is just...
And it's co-op.
Oh yeah, co-op, and
that's insane.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
I'm not sure. Have you ever played Remnant from the Ashes?
Yeah, I played that.
Yeah, that game was really fun. Me and my other co-hosts went through most of that game. We kind of got lost, so we're kind of stuck in a lost area.
Remnant from the Ashes. Yeah. I played and beat that. Other Souls-like games. Anything that you would name out there, I played. The Surge, I even played that garbage. I played and beat that.
Surge 2?
I haven't played the Surge 2 yet. I have... Mortal Shell, isn't that what it's called?
Yep, Mortal Shell.
Yep, I haven't played that yet. It's like once you play the best, you go eat it. I give this analogy too many times. My panel members on TSGP give me crap. Anyway, you eat at the best steakhouse, you eat the best steak, and then you go eat an average steak. It's just not going to taste that good, So Souls games are made by FromSoft, so if you play the best, and even if you play a decent knockoff, one of these Souls-like games, it just doesn't do it as well, So Mortal Shell's good, but it just, when I'm playing it, I'm like, man, I'd rather go play Dark Souls 3 again, to be honest, So
I can understand that. I downloaded Mortal Shell. I've played like 30-40 minutes of it before I was going to bed, just trying it out because it just hit Game Pass or whatnot, and I don't know how I feel about that game.
It's
like right now.
Yeah, it's just
It's
it does some
beautiful
good,
looking, but
yeah, it does some good things, but I don't know. Like I said, I bought that game. It's been sitting in my backlog. So
I feel that. All right. Well, that was the last of that question. My next one will be, what genre of game are you just not okay with? Like something that you ain't buying, you ain't picking it up. Like it's on Game Pass and you still ain't playing it.
RTS and like puzzle games, you know, like if it's a hardcore puzzle based game, I'm not down with that, really, you know. I've done some streams and stuff, and when it comes to puzzle sections in games, I'm just like, I don't know what it is, man. I don't know. Maybe my brain's too small or something. I just don't want to think when I'm playing video games to that extent. And then RTS is just not my jam, you know. Just never been I didn't really get into the RTS genre.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand. It's a lot of, especially like on PC, like I'm playing Age of Empire. It's a lot of clicking, a lot of It like when you're in it, it can be addictive. But like for me personally, it's hard for me to get back into it. It's like once I'm actually playing it, it's fun.
Yeah.
And then once I stop playing it, it's like, I don't know if I want to repick that back up and go back into that.
Yeah, generally RTS is found on the PC, and like I have not that good of a PC. I have like a 1060 and whatever, an i7. I can play those RTS games. It's just I prefer to play on the couch with a console, and it just, the breadth of RTS is just not there. So I never really got into it, you know.
Absolutely, I get you. All right, so that was a quick and easy answer. What's the best 3 games this year for you? And then out of those 3 games, what would be the one that stands above them all?
Yeah, I was trying to think about this because it's been kind of an interesting year for video games because of all the delays and stuff.
Yes.
We talked about Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I really enjoyed that game. I already told you about Returnal. That's my game of the year. And then I got to put Halo Infinite in there, man. Surprise, like coming out of nowhere. Like I played that and I was getting the good energy off of that game. So those would be my top 3 games for this year.
So are you just talking about multiplayer, or are you talking about campaign as well?
Campaign specifically. It's a contender at this point. Like I can't say what's going to end up being my game of the year right now. It's Returnal or whatever. But like I said, this has kind of been a down year for gaming, in my opinion. Like if you look at like the game of the year nominees out there, like Forza Horizon 5 was awesome. I enjoyed that game, but I'm not really into racers. I bought Resident Evil Village. I still haven't played it. And I heard that has won lots of Game of the Year awards. Excuse me.
It's got a lot of nominations too.
That could easily be my favorite game, right? So Resident Evil Village is there. I still need to play that. But Halo, man. It's like I said, I played, I don't know how many hours I played into it, multiplayer and the campaign combined. It's a contender, man, for my game of the year because, you know, it's between that and those other 2 games. So
that's good to know. So yeah, those are 3 really good games. But are any of those representative to like your favorite studio?
My favorite studio that's a tough one, man. I'm kind of partial or biased. I think one of the reasons why I prefer the PlayStation console and platform is because I feel like they have the best first-party studios in the world. Their quality is just insane. Now, Insomniac just took it up a notch. Like you look at their games that they put out the Spider-Man games, which are arguably the best superhero games out there. And if you want proof of that, go play Spider-Man on the Avengers to see how god awful that is, you know.
Don't do that.
And then other superhero games. So they've been stepping
You
it
didn't have
up,
to go
you know.
You did not have to go.
So
there.
Insomniac is good, but honestly, my favorite game of all time, like I said, Sony Santa Monica with God of War 2018. So that's my top notch there. But you know, Sony also has Naughty Dog. The Last of Us 2 is just insane from a graphic standpoint, a gameplay standpoint.
Recently beat that game. It was insane.
Everything.
Just that Joel scene, bro. Like,
yeah.
that was one of many moments that I'll have throughout my life that I'll never forget.
Yep. And then Sucker Punch, Ghost of Tsushima, man, like that's one of my favorite games of all time.
Really, I haven't played that yet.
You got to try it, dude. Like, it's insane. I don't know what your favorite type of game is, but the open world, a lot of times I'll get tired of it because of the structure of it, like especially like with, I don't know, Assassin's Creed games and stuff, but they built that world very well. The combat is insane and it's just very fresh. So yeah, I mean, Sony Santa Monica would be my favorite because they do my favorite game. So
gotcha, that makes sense, and that's pretty good. So what, I feel like I know the answer to this question, but I'm gonna ask it anyways. What is the game that you're most excited for next year?
It's a toss up between God of War Ragnarok and Elden Ring. It's crazy, dude. I love both of those franchises so much, and what they're doing with Elden Ring and God of War Ragnarok, continuing that story, and to see what they're going to be doing with that is going to be amazing. So it's a tie for me, man. I can't say, hey, if you had a gun to my head and I had to pick one of those games to play, which one I would pick, because I'd feel so left. I don't know. I would have so much regret leaving one of those off the table because I want to experience both of those games. So yeah, those are my tie. It's neck and neck.
Yeah, I feel you. It's like saving one family member, but you have to kill another.
Yeah.
I got you. That's those are some games to for sure be excited about. I've like I just recently said about Elden Ring being multiplayer, like that changed my whole thought process on that game, because I went into it thinking Elden Ring is single player. So like it was on my list of games to play, but it was like an immediate backlog game for me. Now that I hear that it's cooperative, I'm like, maybe this is like an ASAP kind of game.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be more approachable for people like yourself. They made it so where you can only invade if you're co-oping, because before, one of the things that added to people's frustration is like if you were online, you could be invaded by players, and they could kill you and you could lose all your stuff. But now in Elden Ring, you can only do that if you're co-oping. I think it's just going to be more approachable, in my opinion. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, because that's what made Remnant really approachable for me as well, because I'm not like Mr. Souls kind of games any of those. Like I actually kind of usually will play those games, but will play those games like a few years after they come out. Like I don't chase getting those. Yeah. But Loke was like, yo man, you got to get Remnant. I feel like you'd be pretty good at that since you like to play multiplayer games, because I'm an Xbox guy, kind of. I've always kind of been an Xbox. But I enjoy the other consoles, and I don't really participate too much in the warring about which one's better than which, because I could break both of them down and say, well, this is what sucks about this, and this is what's awesome about this, and I can do that about any console. I forgot what I was saying. But yeah, he got me into playing that game. because I'm more into multiplayer and playing with a lot of people, party, and I'm the guy back in the day that had the Sega with the adapter on the front of it so I could plug in, 4 controllers and play those games for that. And I was the guy with the PlayStation that had that like L-shaped extension where you could plug 4 controllers into it. I was always that multiplayer guy. So when the Xbox came out and you could do that, what was it called? Where you plug the back into it and you can like attach
the Rumble pack.
No.
No,
I'm talking about LAN parties.
LAN parties. There you go.
Yeah, LAN parties. So I was always that guy that wanted to play with people. I wanted to meet people, and that's kind of what drew me to content creating, where I'm on the show with you right now. I always like to be meeting new people and stuff like that in gaming. So yeah, I feel like the Souls is trying to take my soul a little bit.
Oh yeah.
It's finding new souls to take, and I think that's their direction right now, and I like it.
Yeah. I agree.
But moving forward, if you were to revive 2 games from the past, and when I say the past, I mean before the PS4 and Xbox One generation, just so we don't end up running into anything that's being, FPS boosted or whatever you want to call it. What are 2 games you think?
Twisted Metal would be one of them for me.
Thank you.
I had fond memories of that, and I think if it's done well. The interesting thing, you're asking me what was my favorite gaming memory. It was actually being able to meet David Jaffe, created God of War, my favorite game franchise, and actually had him on the show, and I thought that was one of those moments where you're like, awesome,
Right.
But he also made Twisted Metal, and I remember having times with that. And he's had discussions about, whether or not that would be able to exist in a modern stage. And I think if it's done the right way with the right studio, I think it would thrive if they did it right. I enjoyed that. Was one of the things with Destruction All Stars. The reason why that game wasn't that good, there's a lot of reasons, but the cars didn't have guns on them. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things that was missing off of that. And I think that game was phenomenal, man. So there's rumors that that's going to be coming back or whatever. They're going to have a TV show, so hopefully that's true. And then I'm a Nintendo guy, so I think a proper Star Fox game, it's just been way too long. And I remember
You're right, it's been a long time.
Star Fox 64, I want it done properly. I don't want it to have, I forgot who the studio that did the last. It's been so
Was it
long.
989? Or wait, no, I'm still thinking of Twisted Metal.
No, it's the people that made Scalebound. They made one of the Star Fox games. What's their names?
The
Platinum.
ones that didn't finish Scalebound, that one?
Yeah, Platinum. I think they made a Star Fox game. Regardless of that, it's just if Nintendo put the love that they put into, let's say, Super Mario Odyssey, or like a studio put that kind of love into a Star Fox game, I think that would be awesome. I think that'd be cool. I'd get into that.
That's pretty dope. Yeah, I don't know why I said 989, but I'm pretty sure it's because of, I think one of the Twisted Metal games, I think it was Twisted Metal 4, was made by 989 Studios, if you remember who they were.
Yeah, the name sounds familiar.
Yeah, they also made, I think it was Game Breaker maybe, and the NFL game. I don't remember. Game Day. NFL Game Day, if you remember that.
Game Day, yeah.
Super old. But anyways, here's kind of a question we're revisiting a little bit. But what frustrates you about gaming in general, no matter what it is?
Interesting topic. Tribalism in the community in gaming. I think that's a natural human thing, because that, you look at the history of human beings. We existed in tribes back in the day. So it's kind of a human tendency to try, you have that tribalism, and I kind of group everybody into these groups. Because when I got in the community, I was an Xbox guy and I did Xbox content, but I kind of had a falling out with that. And it's a weird scenario, like on Twitter and everywhere else. It's kind of like CNN and Fox, or liberals and conservatives or whatever. Or I like vanilla, you like chocolate, or I like Ford, you like Chevy. And it's like everybody tries to slot you into those spots. And if you kind of deviate out of that, it's like the hardcore on both sides will hate you, because you just kind of like have to fall in line. It's like, hey, if you like PlayStation more, then you gotta, do this or talk about this. Or if you like Xbox, it's like, I don't care about any of that. Like, I do it for my channel because, like I said, the algorithm and everything else like that. But I've said it multiple times. I'll play a game wherever it is if it's fun. And that's one of the things. I think it's just because I've been in the community so long, it just kind of wears on you after a while, because the console war stuff and everything else like that, it's just jokes for the most part. But then once you see people in Twitter in real life that take it seriously and then get real toxic and threaten people or whatever, and take it to just weird limits, it just gets overbearing. So long story short, that's what frustrates me about the general gaming today.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's personally kind of weird. The more that you're rooting for your console, like I understand being like a Lakers fan, or being a Chiefs fan, or Broncos, or whatever. Like, you're gonna have fans that are gonna be more diehard than others, and other fans that are gonna be a little bit more wild or off the top than others. But once it starts to get personal, that's where I'm like you need to seek some help, or you need to you need to figure out something else other to do than to game. And because I feel like a lot of people that get mixed up in that whole tribal thing and take it way too serious, forget about what social media really is made for. And social media is made to bring people together, to bring an understanding of why somebody is maybe like this. How can I accept somebody for who they are? And that's what I'm trying to use it for, is like, hey, I'm trying to bring people together more than I'm trying to, rile up a crowd and be like, you guys are my people and don't go over there because over there are a bunch of bad people. Like, I ain't got time for that.
Exactly.
But fantastic answer to that question. I feel the same way about that, just like I just got done describing. So thank you for that. But here's a fun one. What's the dream come true for you in gaming?
The dream come true is that technology is advanced in a way where VR and AR and all that other stuff can be implemented into a gaming form that's consumable to the rate that we consume products right now on a console. Does that make sense? Like, you don't have all these wires and headset that covers your eyes and your ears. Like, I want to be able to be as comfortable as I am sitting on my couch in front of my TV and be able to be in like a Ready Player One scenario, and that kind of interactivity. Or that, that's where I picture gaming going. Like, that's my dream come true. Like, and I see it going there, like with Meta or Facebook and their metaverse and everything else. The way technology is going. But man, it'd be crazy, because you think about it right now and the way it is. And with online gaming, it's a different environment. Like in Ready Player One, you have your avatar or whatever that represents you. You could be anything. And to exist in that kind of world, and you have, what are they called, NFTs and like all this other weird stuff that's popping up. I think that would be cool. I know it's not going to be to that exact level, but to be able to have that virtual reality space that's easy and usable. Maybe it's like you throw on glasses and boom, you're there or something. I don't know.
No, I know what you're talking about. I've seen some pretty crazy things. I mean, because the internet is there to show you crazy stuff constantly. But I've seen some things where somebody like put on like this headgear and they were like on this weird treadmill thing that went different directions. And the dude's like running like he's actually in combat, and then like he would slow down, the treadmill would slow down too.
Do you the Matrix level stuff where they plug in the jack in the back of your head and you're just in that world, because essentially it's electrons and electricity running through your brain, and the guy's eating a steak and he's like, I know this isn't real, but it tastes real, and all this other stuff. It's weird. You can get into depth with it. But I don't know what they're gonna do. I just know that Elon Musk is developing technology that, like, crazy stuff that's going on. So we'll see what happens with games. I know it's a long ways off, but eventually, we'll see what happens.
It's crazy how close things like gaming and real world, they're just kind of getting smushed.
Kind of intersect.
Yeah. Soon they're gonna be like that.
Yep.
And it's gonna be really weird. It's gonna be cool, but like depending on how you look at it, it could be kind of fucked up.
It can be scary as well. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as dope. Yeah. Just like GTA, super duper dope until somebody starts acting like that.
Yeah.
All right. But what do you enjoy outside of gaming?
I enjoy sports. My two neck, when it comes to passion and stuff like that, sports was like way up there before, and now it's just kind of neck and neck. But I'm a big sports fan. I actually do a podcast for the Suns.
You guys are doing great.
It's called the Valley Podcast. Give a shameless plug for that. We do live reactions to the games and stuff, and it's been fantastic. I've been a Suns fan my whole life, and just to see them at this success rate, and then the Arizona Cardinals, those two at the same time, like best records in their league, is just insane. So big sports fan when it comes to NBA and NFL. I do watch ASU football, but they suck. So yeah, that's what I like.
Yeah, it's a great time to be it's a great time to be a sports fan in Arizona.
Oh yeah, great time.
It really is. Yeah, I'm a fan of Kyler Murray. He's super good. I'm probably an even bigger fan of Hopkins, because that
Hopkins
dude
is man.
Everything.
Man,
his toe taps are just insane.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like literally, you can just throw it up to him, and 9 times out of 10 he'll grab it.
Yeah, you can be a horrible throw, and he'll figure out how to catch it.
Yeah, so I love both of those players.
But yeah, man, I'll have to check out what do you say? Valley?
The Valley Podcast. The Valley Podcast.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll have
the
to
Valley
check that out
Podcast.
because I'm not like an avid follower fan of Arizona sports, but I do enjoy what they usually have going on. It's always pretty interesting. And I've been a kind of interested in watching the Cardinals play ever since they drafted Larry Fitzgerald years back.
Oh yeah, Larry was awesome.
Because he was
amazing.
He was just insane when he first got there. But anyways, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. What's something that nobody really knows about you that you'd be comfortable sharing?
I like watching the Food Network, man. It's funny. Yeah, man, I like cooking, and I like watching cooking and stuff, and stuff like really big into making Italian food, pasta specifically, any kind of pasta dish, kind of perfected that. So yeah, watching the Food Network. I like Chopped. I don't watch it a lot because typically if I'm going to pick a pastime, let's be honest, I pick gaming, so, but I do like the Food Network. I do like to cook, so not a lot of people know that.
Do you watch any like Hell's Kitchens or any of that stuff?
I like all that.
I'm big into that.
Yeah, Gordon Ramsay cracks me up, dude.
Oh man, he kills me. It's still walking. I love that shit.
Yeah, yeah. He's funny.
All right, well, we're coming to our last question now, which is me asking you to describe gaming in 3 words.
These are the ones I came up with: fun, friendship, and technology. Fun is an obvious thing. If you're gaming and you're not having fun, you're in the wrong place.
Right.
Because that's what we do when we play games. We play things to escape and have a blast doing things that we can't do in normal life usually. Friendship, like I said, Nintendo 64, playing with the homies back when I was young, and then today as an adult, being able to plug into a console with your headset and talk to people around the world and play games with them on the fly is insane. And then when it comes to technology, I could dive into this, but we don't have time for it. The fact that the technology that's being implemented in these games and how it's crossing over into movies, Unreal Engine 5, virtual sets, the motion capture technology that they're putting into video games, it's insane. And we nitpick the smallest things, how many blades of grass or pixels there are, but the things that are happening in video games are just remarkable. Like I said, the things that you're seeing on screen that we take for granted, you rewind time back in the 90s and you show them The Last of Us 2, people would lose their mind, or Halo Infinite or any of these games. It's just those are the 3 words to stand out for me.
Oh yeah, I mean, just think about the amount of progress that we've got in just the last 10 years, just the last decade.
Oh, yeah.
Just the last decade. You compare the 360 and PS3 mid-generation to late to towards the end of the generation to right now, where we got Horizon Forbidden West looking stunning, and we have Halo, and like tell somebody 10 years ago, hey, you're gonna get an open world Halo. Tell somebody that. You're not
with the graphic fidelity and the frame rates and stuff, man, crazy.
Yeah, I mean, oh yeah, and definitely go back 10 years and show them what Forza looks like right now.
Oh man.
It's insane. So yes, I love that answer. Fun, friendship, and technology. Wonderful answer and wonderful description for each one, which I don't have very many people do. Usually they just give me the 3 and they're kind of out. But I like the description that you gave for each one of those. So, Saltiest Gaming, I'd like to thank you for taking your time out, setting up this day, and coming out and being on this show with me. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And to any of those watching, as I said before, Ham Solo 05 here. This is Behind Them Sticks. We show this show every Tuesday and Thursday, or when we have the new episodes that come out. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't yet. But thanks for watching, you guys. Have a wonderful evening.